What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? So the reason why a lot of young men have image issues, or they have low self-esteem, they have a bad image of themselves. And really, this is something that is, obviously, it is psychological, it is deep, but it did come from external forces, right? Meaning these negative beliefs most likely came from external sources. The high probability that it came from external sources, okay? And I'm gonna get right down to it. This is Tarik Talks. You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. So when someone is growing up, they are like clay. They get molded, right? Clay is very malleable. You can mold it to whatever you want. And unfortunately, as kids, and this is, before anyone gets on here and says, oh, confidence is internal and stuff like that. Yes, it is. When you are a child, most men don't know this, right? What as kids, we don't know that, right? We don't know that. So unfortunately, we let external sources mold us, and we kind of got to break out of this mold, right? We have to remold ourselves from scratch when we realize what happened. Okay, and unfortunately, a lot of young men, they don't break out of this mold. They stay in that same stagnant, position or same mindset that they're in. The usual: you're a loser, you're ugly, you're not good enough. All of these negative things are like a loop. They play in a loop. They're like a cycle, and they get played to a lot of young men right now. Some young men are very lucky to grow up with positive, affirmations, with positive affirmations, and they get molded into someone that is very confident in themselves. Let's be honest. Let's not even kid ourselves. In this society, men are for the most part, I'm talking in generalities, right? I never say all, but a lot of young men, not all, but a lot of young men grow up with horrible loop cycles, telling them they're losers and telling them, nah, you're never gonna accomplish that, right? Whether it be directly or subconsciously. And unfortunately, most of the time, a lot of men don't heal from that trauma from when they were kids, because like I alluded to earlier, kids are the most, they are influenced the most. They are the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Not influential, but the most, they're influenced the most because their mind hasn't developed yet. So when they hear things like, you're not good enough, right? Or maybe their peers in school is the most important time in a young boy's life. This is why a lot of young men subconsciously, they carry that hurt from school, whether they realize it or not. Getting teased, look, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, and even for my ladies, I could still remember times where I got teased in elementary school. This is how powerful, right? This goes to show you how powerful negative loops and cycles and negative reinforcements are. That is how powerful negative reinforcements stay with us longer than positive. Yes, they are that much more powerful. They are that much more potent, to where men remember shit from school from years ago, and it subconsciously stays with them, right? Especially, and this is a very detrimental one, when someone is called ugly, right? When a young man is called ugly, right? And I'm sure a lot of young ladies, they were called that word too, but I'm talking to my fellas here. When you are called that in your younger years, that is going to deeply affect you. That will have a very deep, it's a deep cut. It is going to affect you very tremendously, and it can either make or break you. But let's put it like this. Some people are so afflicted by these negative traumas, because they are traumas, right? We hear that sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt. I beg to differ. Words are like a sword, right? You know how they say the pen is mightier than a sword, or something to that extent? Yeah, pretty much it's saying words can affect, and they can, no matter how much someone tries to beat their chest and say, oh, I don't get affected by, yeah, I get you, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Subconsciously, though, you did get affected by words. Men get affected by words when they are young, and that is pretty much the most pivotal point. So when you have a young man that's told he's ugly all his adolescence, right? No matter how much he goes to the gym, okay? Because me and shout out Ron Wills, always preaching to go to the gym. No matter how stylish he is, no matter how many times someone tells him you're handsome, he is always going to see that ugly little boy in the mirror, okay? And I remember things from, as I'm sure all of you guys are, I'm pretty sure, right, fellas, if you have an experience, write it down in the comments of a time where you remember a traumatic experience, right? Where someone told you maybe you couldn't do anything. They said you couldn't do anything. Maybe they told you suck in a certain sport. Maybe they told you weren't good enough, and it stuck with you, and it may have hindered you for a very long time up until your adulthood. And the thing about it is, we have to break out of that negative cycle. Those negative reinforcements, they're like chains. We have to break out of those chains, and it takes, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it is extremely difficult. Even me, sometimes I still deal with demons from the past, right? I still deal with traumas, whether it would have been a breakup, and this is a thing too. When young men are growing up, something that a young lady might say, let's say she says, ew, like get away from me or something like that, that shit is going to traumatize you for damn near, not the rest of your life, but a large majority of your life, right? It is going to traumatize you because a young man at a young age getting rejected by a female, that is probably one of the worst things next to getting punched or, getting maimed or, dying. You feel me? That's like comes after that, because it is extremely it molds your self-image. And once again, this is just what some people told you, and you guys, a lot of us, we take it to heart like, oh, if this person thinks that, everyone must think that. So we carry around this baggage, right? Bag lady, except, it applies to men. Shout out Erykah Badu, made that song Bag Lady. She was pretty much talking about all the damage that a woman holds from all the traumas in her life. Same thing with men. Look, fellas, a lot of these channels make it seem like men and women are just these two just separate creatures, and we are separate with a lot of shit, right? We are. I'm not arguing on that whatsoever. But we are alike in a lot of ways, in that, yes, men, we do go through traumas too, emotional traumas as well. So it is imperative that you tell yourself, F that. I am good enough. Tell yourself that. You have to tell yourself, I am good enough. Because our brains, bro, are just like computers. See, when you have a computer, a fresh new computer, right? You got a fresh new computer. We don't really use computers like that. We got smartphones. But imagine you have a fresh new computer. You just opened it up, and all of a sudden you start downloading all of these programs, and these programs have malware. They have viruses. They have all these bad things in them. You just program that into your computer, right? As opposed to you just open up your fresh new computer, and guess what? You download, like a whole bunch of helpful apps. Like apps that help you journal, apps that help you with daily tasks. Maybe it's a schedule to keep you organized, right? Daily tasks, an app that has a workout program or a fitness tracker or like a Fitbit type of deal, how many miles and shit like that. You download positive stuff. So it's going to be programmed. It's going to be programmed to do positive stuff. Now, if you started off with malware, with viruses, with Trojan viruses, you are going to have to metaphorically speaking, clean out all of those bad programs and bad viruses, right? And this is equivalent to your mind. You're going to have to get rid of all that BS. You're going to have to get rid of all that negative stuff where females have told you ugly, or maybe a hater, some shit said you suck at playing basketball, or you suck at doing this activity and you're never going to be nothing. You have to delete that malware, if you guys get what I'm saying. And you have to download positive stuff. And this takes years. I won't lie to you. If you have been programmed by external sources to think that you ain't shit, you're going to think you ain't shit for way more longer than you're going to think that you are something, right? So you're going to think that you ain't. Unfortunately, this is just how humans work. This is how psychology works. Negative stuff affects us way more, right? You're going to believe that you ain't shit way longer than you're going to believe that you're worth it, right? So anyway, with that being said, man, keep your head up, Canes, right?